In a precursor to the well-known tales, Timothée Chalamet is introduced as a younger version of the character who will later become a master chocolatier, the opposite end from where we first encounter him. In Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Willy Wonka is undoubtedly searching for a successor to take over the chocolate factory, claims King. He's entertaining and full of life, but there's a feeling that he might be running out of time to lead the factory. Audiences' pure imaginations will determine the precise age of this Wonka. He's sort of Timothée Chalamet-aged, King chuckles, lacks specificity. But the director's starting point was always this scene of Wonka arriving in a new town. That was among the first ideas that came to mind. Don't really know where he comes from since he emerges from the mist as this odd figure on a mast. Almost seems like he's coming from the unfathomable outside. A tasty place to start. Where he has actually been is in the jungle. This backstory was hinted at in the original doll, sometimes with some, well, deeply unpleasant context in early editions of the story, and it will take on new relevance in this context. According to King, we learn a lot more about where he's from and what his childhood was like over the course of the movie. So in the flashback, you discover more about his motivations. That is essentially the plot of the film, and that particular tale is about a person who was born with extraordinary talent. King says, "I couldn't think of a time when Willy Wonka was brilliant at manufacturing chocolate. Where did this genius come from, you ask? Just what is genius? He's like a chocolate version of Mozart. Unlike most of us, Mozart didn't feel the need to study the piano as a child. At age 5, he only composed beautiful music. Chocolate piano, a mental note?" When Willy Wonka first arrives in this very uptight European city, the home of chocolate that takes itself incredibly seriously and is very film Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I really enjoy how the signage and posters use a lot of German and other European languages, adds King. The name Willy Wonka has a certain quality that makes it feel foreign to English names. Doll was extremely designedly vague. Mike TV sounds extremely American, Augustus Gloop sounds veritably German, and Violet Beauregard is a French name, so I believe he was trying to be each-encompassing. I believe he's trying to produce a kind of global commune Calla Lane's Pate, who works for Olivia Colman and Tom Davis's ghastly Scrubbit and Bleacher, who, according to Stephen King, are proper doll-esque grotesque characters who have what I hope is a touching story, but are substantially, deeply evil. Gives Willy Wonka at least one supporter if the establishment is not prepared for his appearance. Wonka's only chance of conforming to his new terrain is Pat. She's further familiar with this world than Willy is, according to King. Kayla may carry an old, sarcastic head on youthful shoulders. In addition, Pate is veritably much from the Academy of Hard Knocks and also some, so it felt like a veritably nice twice-act to go with this grown-up who's naive and innocent. While Neil Hannon of the Divine Comedy didn't write any of Wonka's songs, there are hints of full-on musical passages then. King has said that there will be plenitude of songs in the movie, and this is his chance to follow the awful Hugh Grant sing-along credit sequence from Paddington 2. He chuckles, calling it the most precious credit sequence in movie history. It was nearly like, "Oh, okay, I will do that coming." In some ways, it sounded right. The challenge of mounting some of those sequences and trying commodity new was extremely pleasurable. Also, singing has always played a part in Wonka's fictional world. Once further, we were trying to conduct the 1971 film. It's such a crazy movie, and yet it ever manages to succeed. After feeling like a musical in the first half, it suddenly ceases to be one. Dahl includes a lot of song in his jotting, and he is always producing inconceivable poetry that are nearly the strip corridor of the book. It simply sounded ineluctable that this would be the case. Timothée Chalamet was the ideal choice for the part of Willy Wonka when it came to casting. King exclaims, "He is really an inconceivable actor." You can accept that he's brilliant, which Willy Wonka plainly is. Due to the fact that it's a musical, he must sing, dance, and perform a variety of other tasks. It ought to reveal a distinct side of the actor, who constantly portrayed wounded individualities in flicks like Call Me By Your Name, Beautiful Boy, and indeed Dune. He portrayed this type of agonized, youthful, different character, says King. He is amusing, wild, and lively, not completely dependable and a little dangerous. Willy Wonka's creations have always been truly magical, from biting goo that tastes like each course of a repast, regale to literally endless gobstoppers. With his sweetmeats, he's elevating the consumer experience at this place. The hang chalk's fun, and obviously is a chapeau doused to the fizzy lifting liquid, King observes, suggesting to the 1971 movie. The fantastic nature gives a sense of these chocolates which aren't only succulent, but do extraordinary effects, will take you to places that regular delicacy does not. The chocolate on point was also generous, indeed, though it tragically demanded the same goad goods. King shafts and says, they are each prepared by our on-set chocolatier, who I wholeheartedly suggest. Everyone should have their veritably own private chocolatier. We will put it on our vacation want list. It goes without saying that Wonka's unconventional approach to sweets will not be well entered in the cozy chocolate box world he enters. Slugworth, Fickelgruber, and Prodnos are members of a chocolate combination, King observes, representing their birth in Doll's Jotting. In the book, they're described as three rival chocolatiers who were all stealing ultimate appearing with Olivia Colman in a peep show reunion. King chuckles. It's a peep show reunion. Dobby is there too. We've Izzy Suddy. When it comes to casting, I am extremely direct. I enjoy peep show. Please let me have the lot. Together, they'll beget a lot of trouble. They're all extremely awful. Still, they will all pay for it. If we have not recovered from the shock of literacy that Sally Hawkins will not be playing Mrs. Brown in Paddington 2, there's a bright spot in Peru. We will, at the veritably least, get our coming Hawkins hit then. We all need a mega hit of Sally, King chuckles. She portrays Willy's mama, and she does it relatively well. She doing that was enough lucky break for me. Every single time I get to work with her, I feel incredibly privileged. People make the utmost of it. Then it is the character from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory has returned, and the person portraying him then's none other than Hugh Grant? When King read the runes again, he saw that they had a voice that was veritably sort of pessimistic, sardonic, cruel, funny, but wicked, and he allowed, "Oh, that is sort of a bit like Hugh." There was no turning around. It was a true aha moment when someone said, "Hugh Grant is an Oompa Loompa. Please, yes, happy leaves with a arc on it." King only wanted to go with one Oompa Loompa appearance because of his love for the 1971 movie. He continues, "In my head, it just felt like that is what an Oompa Loompa was." I truly did not want to produce that from scrape. I adore it a lot. Tim Burton is a genius, so I can no way do what he does. But I could no way have taken that and rebuilt it the way he did. And given how important I enjoyed it, I am not sure whether I would want to. I had the appetite to produce commodity that fit with that iconography since I adore pure imagination, the Oompa Loompas' melodies, and the way they appeared. And it had the familiar appearance of an Oompa Loompa. Ready to unravel the secrets of movie scripts? Dive deeper into the art of storytelling by subscribing to Scriptwhisperer today. Join our community of film enthusiasts and aspiring writers, and together, let's unlock the magic hidden within the pages of cinematic masterpieces.